Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of The Great Unknown. This your country cousin, Pete McCarver, aka Peter Mac. Um, been a couple weeks since I talked to you. You know, life. I had went back to work, had to report back to Uncle Sam and all that. But this episode is I'm looking forward to this one because me and this guy, we came up in the trenches together in Atlanta. My man, he's been on the road and performed with a lot of well-known comedians, which is why I don't understand why he is still a great unknown himself. Only other person I know besides me that can tell you any damn thing about 80s and 90s R&B, and he might know a little something about the 70s. We ain't never really tap into that. I call him the R&B whisperer because I don't know how this man do it, but you'll look up on Facebook, Instagram, this man will find R&B singers. I mean, he'll have Christopher Williams. He'll have Tavia from Destiny Child. It's like, where are you seeing these people? So I'm like, no, he gotta be somebody these folks. He has to be. From Lorain, Ohio, not Cleveland, Ohio, even though he do claim Cleveland. It's Lorain, Ohio. Talented comedian, father. Because he'll say that I ain't making fun of. He'll say father, former pull-out champion of the world, of at least of Fulton County, and connoisseur of R&B, homeboy of mine, my dog, Marlan Ballard. What's up, my boy?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Cooler, man. Did you rock out at that Comics Rock conference, or you ain't do nothing for it?
Bro, I don't sign up for these conventions and festivals. I do more networking, just showing up, than just actually signing up and going to the places. I'm not paying for nobody I know to give me some advice.
I feel on that. And one thing about you, your ass, you know how to network and you know how to wiggle your way into some shit. Will say that about you.
I look non-threatening.
Yeah, you do look non-threatening. Well, honestly, you can't say that because you know you look like Nick Gordon, Bobby Christina's. Oh, you know I ain't gonna never let you live that down.
That's why I would hate to run into Bobby Brown right now. He seemed like he had peace, so I think I can approach him a little bit.
Look, man, Bobby Brown is hey, you can run to Bobby Brown now. One, he had peace, and two, he ain't my prerogative Bobby Brown no more. He kind of got a little weight on now. If you had ran to Bobby Brown like 93,
right now.
Say what?
I think I could beat his ass right now.
Oh no, now that man's still from Roxbury, Boston, man. You know, so I'm just saying. But now if you ran him back with in his heyday, at like 89 to like 92, Bobby would have gave that work. He'd have gave you that motherfucking work.
He definitely
especially if you high on that coke. Oh yeah, Bobby would have lit your ass up like Christmas tree. Yeah. But what's been up, man? What you been up to lately? Like what's been
plotting. I've been pretty much plotting. I ain't really been on stage like I used to, as consistently as I used to, because every now and then I need a break, bro. I can't be like, that shit was draining. We was out every night, like till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I can't do that shit no more. Like, it's just, I want to, but I'm just like, I'd rather go to sleep, bro. Like, if it's not worth it, I don't come out like that no more.
Yeah, so me and Sonny was talking about that not too long. For those of y'all remember Sonny G, he was my second episode. We was talking, I said, bro, do you believe that we used to go out to like a Waffle House, Landmark Diner, Fellini's, after hit like 2 or 3 stages, sit there like 1, 2 in the morning. We 1 and 2 in the morning by the time we get there, sit there, politic, give each other advice, try to holler at some females to like 4:30 in the morning, knowing we got to be up at work. And I have to get up at 7, got to be at that motherfucker clock in by 7. Not a care in the world. I mean, just did it like it was the thing to do. No coffee, no Red Bull, no 5-hour engine shots, nothing. We just did that, man. I don't know how the hell we used to do that shit.
Yeah, I used to. Now I got to take a nap. I got to prepare for it. If Marvin hit me up and be like, "Hey, you know, let's go to Fellini's," I'm like, man, let me take a nap, because.
Oh yeah, because you know, if you there with Marvin, and especially if he got AD with him, you gonna be there for a hot minute.
Man, now, man, I tap out and I hit the stage and I'm like, all right, y'all, I'm gone. Like, I can't do this shit like I used to no more, man. I let them younger cats come out there and you know, waste their time and try to get on stage. I'm not doing that.
Why you say waste their time, bro? Why you call it wasting their time?
They're wasting their time, man. This shit ain't what it used to be. You already know that.
Yeah.
It's not what it is. So you fighting to get on stage. The club don't respect you. They ain't paying you. They ain't doing none of that shit. I sound bitter, but this is me talking from experience. Like
But that's how
now,
it was for us. It was the same way
I mean,
for us.
yes, and no. We were actually funny.
Oh, shots fired.
So yes and no, But it was a grind. That's when everybody would come together in fellowship. Now you couldn't pay all the people we came up with to be in the same room together because it's just everybody doing their own thing, So it's
What you think his egos came into play and all that shit
oh
once they
yeah,
got on?
egos, and everybody got managers and stuff now. So it's just it's all love when we do come together, but it's really people don't come together like they used to, unless it's a funeral.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's when I see everybody named Mama pop up is when somebody died. Like when Tyler Craig died, I saw so many people I hadn't seen like come together in one room at one time. I mean, I wasn't there, but I'm just saying the pictures I saw because I was deployed when it happened. But I was just like, oh snap, I ain't seen this nigga in Lord know how long. Or like my grandma say, a month of Sundays, I ain't seen him in Lord. And then I'm like, whoa, this dude? I'm like, and where he came from? Man, hell, even my mentor that got me started, Too Loose,
I did see him. I brought
from
you up.
Mobile. I'm like, oh snap, this is not a game.
And I never ever thought I'd say, like, damn, that was a good ass funeral. That shit was funny as fuck. I never thought I'd see that until I went to comedians' funerals and niggas was like out there doing sets and roasting each other. And I'm like, yo, this is a funny ass funeral. I want my shit to be like this.
Well, at least that funeral was better than how Ricky Harris's was about 5, 6 years ago out in Long Beach. They started set tripping in that bitch.
I heard, man. They tried to run up on Snoop.
Yeah, then here comes Sherry Shepherd out of nowhere just crying. Like, what the hell is you crying for? What is this?
She, she that one girl that be, when a fight happens, she would be the one yelling, "Stop, stop!" That's her. Like, you making it worse. Your voice is irritating me. That makes me want to punch more people in the face.
And it's a gang of LA Crips. Like, ain't nobody letting up, man. Everybody going for broke in that bit.
Not at all. We ain't doing that.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. But hey man, so we talking like I said, you've been doing comedy it's about like you hit 10 years yet?
Yeah, it's my 10th. I hit 10 in July.
Yeah, 10. So my boy, what made you just like decided you want to like get into comedy? Like what led you to try it out?
It was peer pressure, Shantae.
Oh yeah.
I was following her on Twitter. This was like my heavy Twitter days. So I'm like, I'm in Atlanta and I didn't have no life at that point. I was just going to college and going home. I wasn't doing nothing. So I'm like, Wayans said they had a show somewhere local. And I'm like, oh, I know where the Punchline is. That's over there in that part of the city that I go get food from and shit. So I told her I'll pull up. She messaged me back like, pull up. I'm like, all right, I'm pull up, man. Went and saw her, met her after the show, took a picture and she was nice to me from that point on. And, me and her started kicking it tough. She started inviting me, over, meeting her folks and everything. And then she's like, you kind of funny. You should get on stage. I'm like, yo, at first I was hesitant, but I'm like, shit, if Wayans tell you funny, you need to get your ass on that stage. So I'm like, you know what? I'll try it. And I did. First time, after that, I wanted to quit, but she took me to the Punchline for my second, try, and I got up. And ever since then, I've been doing it pretty consistently. Right. She was like, if you're gonna hang around, Marlon told me too. He's like, you're gonna hang around us, you gotta be productive. You gotta do something. You can't just be around. You gotta like get your ass on that stage, do something, write a script, do something. So
yeah, because they like a factory over there. Everybody go to work over there in the Waynes. Like as soon as you can walk and talk, hey, we need you over here running this camera. Hey, we need you behind that typewriter, writing up something. So you said that was your second set of Punchline. What was your first? Because you didn't mention like when you performed at first with Shantae.
The Punchline is my first official stage. The first place I went to was just a regular ass comedy room. That's when Ray Grant had Stars and Strikes out there, and I think Woodstock or it was somewhere out there, like the Marietta area. It was he hosted. Professor Ray Grant, Dirty South was there, Big Kenny was there, and that's all. And Shantae came. She came to watch. She didn't get up. She just came to watch. And I remember that was my first time meeting Dirty South, and she was just as wild as she was then.
Yeah, boy.
That's when she was with James.
Oh man, R.I.P. to James, man.
Yeah, that's when she was with James, and James was And nigga had a grip like a motherfucker. He shook my hand. Hey, how you doing, man? I'm like, damn, it's dirty. Like, this my man. This the only dick I'm sucking today. Come on, boy.
Yeah, that's up.
Today.
Nephew,
I'm like,
nephew.
so I'm like, who dick you sucking tomorrow? Don't worry about it. Get
Oh,
out my business. Get out my business.
boy, you stupid.
Man.
Have you always been an asshole like this, even when you was younger, or like this just developed once you
No,
got that?
I was picked on.
I can,
So
I can see that.
I had no choice but to be an asshole. I was a military brat. So
Oh, yeah.
I was in Maine from like 98 all the way to 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
So I went from being the only black kid in the school wearing Skechers and all that, whack ass shit, from the 90s to moving straight to Memphis, Tennessee, where it
Ooh,
was
snap.
like these are like the cousins of niggas from 3-6 Mafia and all that shit. So they grilling your ass as soon as you get off the bus. The fuck you got on? Like, I'm like,
Yeah, because that's what they love to do. They don't care where you at. Like, them jokers want to talk and roast. I got a couple homies that's in the Navy with me that's from Memphis, but they're like, you just walking up, boy, and you can be clean as hell. Boy, I'm about to give it to your ass, boy. You think you fresh as hell? Yeah, you fresh as hell, but boy, you still ugly as hell, boy.
That's them. I dealt with that shit all 5th and 6th grade. And then after that, like some niggas that dressed worse than me finally came into school. And then that's when I started, giving them the business. And I'm like, nigga, so y'all ain't gonna be picking on me the entire time. Like, so I in my own way became a bully, but I wasn't as harsh. Yeah. So it's just going from all white to all black, and you gotta adjust just like that, or you're gonna get your ass whooped every day.
Oh yeah, so, that shit is hard to do. I didn't have to do that like in school. Like the elementary school, I had to do it, and I had to do it in college. Then I had to do it in the Navy because my job in the Navy, I'm around a bunch of white, but not only am I around a bunch of white people, I'm around the white people that regular white people find weird. So I'm like all the way in the pocket, bro. So I totally get it.
It's you in Maine, so you up there like listen, like this is when TRL was in his like the peak of its thing. So you watch NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, all this shit is popular. Then you move to Memphis and you don't hear no more about that shit. It goes straight from Backstreet to 3-6 Mafia, 8 Ball, MJG, all that shit that was out there. Lil Jon, like the Southern shit just took over. So I'm like, damn, I can't listen to this shit no more because it ain't cool. So I was from white to black, so it was. So that's when I became slicker asshole, and then it I went in and out of it, as time went on,
Yeah.
So
yeah, cause I ain't gonna lie. I remember when you started, you were Marlo, the comedian. What made you get rid of that and just go to using your regular government name?
No, I never asked to go by Marlo. Just motherfuckers remember my Twitter name, which I went by Marlo the Martian, and then they just brought me up on stage to that. I'm like, I didn't ask to be that, but I'm like, if it works, it works. So I went by it for a little bit, then I got tired of motherfuckers calling me Marlo. So I'm like, Marlan. And Rodney Perry actually told me that. He was like, use your real name. Start, use it ASAP, because he was like, once that name clicks and nobody wants to call you that shit no more. They want to stick to what, they know you initially by, which is, like food stamp. Nobody's calling him Fredo. Like you still food stamp to me. So it's hard to transition, from one to another. So that's why I started using my real name.
Yeah, I having that same thing too, because I was using Petey Mac real tough, and then I got the Cali. It's a cat from the Bay Area that you spell it the same exact way. And I remember it was a club in San Diego. It was called a Comedy Palace. It's not Comedy Palace no more. They changed and rebranded. It's called Mic Drop. So it was this comedian named Zach Miller. He asked me what my name was, and I told him Petey Mac. He's like, "What's your real name, man?" I told him my real last name is McCorvey. He said, "Bro, go by that." He said, because
a lot of Macs.
You're gonna, huh?
It's a lot of Macs.
Yeah, so not only that, he said, but I'm coming. He said, I see that. He spelled it with the, oh, here you go. Here you go. Get that little swig, boy. Man. I ain't mad at it. I had to leave it alone, but I digress. He said, man, I see this as I'm somebody trying to book somewhere. I'm going to see this. I'm going to think you want to be a thug-ass rapper or something versus this. He said, because to be honest, he said, your regular name, he said, yeah, I don't know if you're black or white, but even when people come out, and even on some shows I hear, people still call me Petey Mac.
You have a comedian name. That your real name is you have a comedian name, Jonathan McCorvey. If I hear that name, then I'm like, okay, it sounds like a comedian. Yeah, some names ring a bell. Like I don't know who else is Rodney Perry. Like that sounds like a comedian name. Not because I know the nigga, it's because like it flows perfectly. So your name flows perfectly. I can see that shit on billboards and whatnot. So
Okay, one, thanks for gassing me up, but two, thanks put my government name out there. I owe people money, bro. You can't just be put my name out there. They be like, huh?
I mean, shit. What else they gonna get from PD Mac? They gonna assume your last name start with Mac.
Well, no,
So,
not Mac. I'm saying, but you know, I go by Pete McCarvey now. I'm talking about you put my real first name out
oh,
there, like, because sometimes I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I might get his name to a chick who I'm like not want to talk to. Then I run my regular name, and yeah, you just boy, you just threw a monkey wrench in the whole game plan, boy. Now they be like, oh, so that's your name, huh? That's the name,
I forgot everybody didn't know your name was started with a J. My bad,
bro. It was funny because when I graduated from high school, they called my name out of the ward. They like, who the fuck is John? They're like, Pete. Pete, like they said, they like, nigga, where Jonathan come from? I'm like, man, that's my name. So I was just like, what you want me to do? My mama and them gave me that name. Like, I don't know what you.
Your mama named you Pete. I'm gonna call you Pete.
Well, that's what the streets name me. Yeah, I don't. We ain't gonna get this. Ain't about me. We ain't gonna get into how they got that nickname. But so like, what is when did you knew that you hit your stride doing comedy? Like, oh no, I'm okay at this. Ooh, I got a Porky Pig moment going on.
My stride. Damn. It was probably that second set I did, that punchline. I actually got laughs that time. So I'm like, you know what? If I keep at it, because I don't like failure. So when if I even do mediocre, if I don't get the laughs I want to laugh, like to get on stage, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do my homework. I'm gonna punch up, trim the fat, do what I do, and then take it back and try it again. So I never got booed ever, but I've had the silent treatment, and that shit feels worse than getting booed. So that right there would keep me on my toes. So I go home, write something, punch it up, take it to them, and if it worked, that's when I, get into that mindset. Like, okay, I'm doing a nice little run, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So as far as my first stride, I think was probably 6 months in when we was doing hammers. That's when I was like consistently, getting my time up consistently. I wasn't super funny then, but that's when the stride to me was the first one.
Oh, good old Hammers, boy. You brought back some memories with that one, boy.
And it still looks the same. I wrote about it the other day. It has not changed. It still looks.
It wasn't a bad place. I mean, now granted, it was like in the middle of the winter. We in there and it's open like a cabana and shit. We freezing our ass and we up in there like fucking North Face, and I had my Carhartt jacket. I mean, no, we was killing ourselves catching pneumonia to tell jokes.
It was them dirty ass mirrors. Angela's drunk ass. It was me, you, Sonny, probably. I think what's the light skinned dude's name? He always dressed like an old man, light skinned dude. He looked like Steph Curry a little bit. What's his name? Fuck.
My Sean P.
Sean P. He would be in there. It would be Philip Wellington to come through sometimes. It would be you and the black guy.
Would be in there sometimes. I think David Perdue came in there one time because I never forget. Remember that honeycomb story that Jeremy Crawford always kept asking to tell, and that's the first time I saw Perdue like really get heated. Because you'll never see Perdue get heated like that. That motherfucker got so heated because you know how they used to take pictures and they put them on Facebook. They got a picture of like Jeremy sitting there smiling. And you got Perdue like sitting there like, man, leave me the fuck alone. I was like, oh yeah, he heated.
There's a lot of comics that came through shit. Chelsea comedy. It was a lot of people that came.
I knew you were gonna bring up the fuck. Because I was gonna get to it. I was like, let me get to it. But man, well, all right, for y'all wondering why this inside soul, this chick he just named was a chick that I happened to. What would you describe it? We would.
Y'all was just. I mean, shit. Messing around.
We'll fucking around.
Messing around.
But here's the thing about it though. Marlan cousin, y'all, was also messing around. So I know the memory he about to say. So the memory Marlan about to tell. So it's one night we was performing. So me, Marlan, I forgot who else was on the show. Chelsea was also on it too, but Chelsea had invited Marlan's cousin to come see the show. Now I got up, but did I get up before her or after? I got before her, right?
You was before her.
So I got up before her, and I did all right. I ain't gonna say I did, because I did all right. She gets up after me, This nigga walks out while she on stage like, he said, I can't take this no more. And I'm like, damn. And then I'm like, damn. I said, brother. And then Marlon like, hey, he said, hey, my nigga. I said, what's up? He said, that's my cousin. I was like, okay. He said, no, him and Chelsea are talking. I'm like, oh, snap. Ooh, okay. Ooh. And then what made it so funny, Buddy came up to me after the show and said, bro, you did good. You probably was one of the better ones of the night. And I'm trying my damnedest not to laugh because I'm like, thank you. But I'm like trying to laugh for one reason. One, like, damn, bro, you just said I did better than chicken. Two, you don't even know I was digging your chick out like that's too long ago. Like a few days before I was digging your chick out. Like, and I'm like,
that was his only goal. He was like, I ain't trying to wipe this bitch up. He was like, I'm trying to, just hit and go. That's it.
That's pretty much what you. Hey man, we ain't gonna keep running that girl through the bud like that. No. But no,
but for all you out there, she hates me. She hates my guts.
So I'm gonna tell you why she hate him. Because, we having fun. This is my homeboy. It was like us catching up. So why she hates him, okay, so this is what happened. Because it was me, Marlon, and another guy. He don't do comedy no more, I don't believe. But his name was EJ Love. He was doing comedy. So we actually we didn't leave. We was all hooking up for New Year's Eve. I think we was going to go to Hammers not to perform. We just going to have a couple of drinks or something. Then we try to catch a Waffle House. So funny thing, we tried to go to a Waffle House in downtown Atlanta. It was packed out like a motherfucker. So the only one we knew that wasn't packed, we had to basically come back to Hateville. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with Atlanta, from downtown Atlanta to Hateville, that's a hump. And especially it's New Year's Eve. So we finally made it out there. So while we out there, me, Marlon, EJ, we talking, we 20-something-year-old men, we talking about what we want to wear, where we trying to go, who we trying to hit, what female we trying to hit. And I think Marlon brought up his cousin and Chelsea, and I had asked him, I said, hey, yo, bro, I said, what's his feelings on that girl? And I said, hey, bro, I said, I'm just going to let him know he don't need to go no deeper than what it is right now. I said, why? And I told him, I said, well, bro, I was just not I was in an apartment like less than 96 hours ago, and we was getting active. So the next day I go to work at Walgreens. I always call it the punk ass job. And I think later on that night, because it was rolling into a Wednesday, so I had to go get the open mic at the Punchline. So it's rolling into a Wednesday. And I'm texting her while I'm at work. I said, I did that old corny ass thing. Hey, Happy New Year's. I ain't talked to you since last year. How you doing? Immediately she texts me back in all caps. So you out here telling everybody I domed you up? I'm like, ooh. I'm like, what the, huh? I was like the Nick Young me. Just for me was things. I like the Nick Young like. So I'm like, Kevin, no. So I said, I know Marlon. So I got on the phone with Marlon like, bro, I know you ain't do no fuck ass shit. And Carl said, nah, bro. So what happened was my cousin grilled her and she folded. So I called her back, guns blazing. He said, man, I told my cousins, like, man, you might want to check her, like my boy whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. He said, but I ain't going into detail. He said she caught herself in the trap, and now she trying to throw you off the scent. So I called her back. I said, so you trying to play some old slick shit and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop and trying to throw me? I said, nah. I said, yeah, you is. I said, man, I said, you full of so much shit, it's unreal. So she was like, well, I see, like, no. I was like, look, man, me and you need to sit down and talk. She's like, well, I'm going to be at the Punchline tonight for open mic. I'm like, all right. So we go back in the green room. So me and her in the green room, we having an in-depth conversation. I'm telling her a whole bunch of lies I don't plan on keeping because she was cute. And then I ain't had no heat in my apartment at the time. Her apartment was nice and toasty. So we about 5-6 minutes in. I didn't did like JT from the 5 Heartbeats. I didn't cried for it. She didn't fail for it. Lo and behold, here come this jackass that's on y'all that y'all seeing right now. He come walking dead in there. And then just stop in the middle of the room, like, what up, Pete? I'm like, what's up, Marlon? And then look at her and look back at me like, you good? I'm like, this nigga ain't shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He looking at, and he got one of them big ass shit-eating grins on his face while he looking at her, looking at me, looking at her, looking at me, looking at her, looking at me. And I'm trying my best not to laugh. I'm like, And y'all, this chick is like yellow. I mean, she like the epitome of hot yellow. When I tell you her face was bubbling red, because that's why I'm trying not to laugh, because I know what Marlon doing. And I'm also seeing her get heated. I'm like, I got my hand inside my pocket, pinching it. And so finally, I ended up going to the bathroom, and I went to the boy at the bar. I said, you ain't worth a shit, bro. He like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna keep fucking with her.
Man,
And lo and behold, until that
I
girl got out
was
the
ready for her to go off on me. I was like, I'm like, I want her to cuss me out because I'm like, I'm gonna go off on her monkey ass, and
and for
she
the
didn't
hey
do it.
y'all, and for the rest of the time this girl was doing comedy, this man right here harassed the shit out of her ass. I'm like, why? I'm like, bro, I'm not even talking to her no more. Like, why are you doing this?
It's that cute shit only goes so far with me. Yeah, you pretty, but that shit don't motivate me. Like, it's you can get this work just like any other nigga could. So I'm gonna give you that work. I don't care. I'm not hitting. I'm not hitting, especially after two niggas I know they hit. So I'm not about to.
Wait a minute, so that what you was in there for? You were trying to get down for yourself too?
No, I'm like, I'm not about to hit that, especially after two niggas I didn't like. I know that they hit, so I'm like, shit. At this point, you one of the homies now. I'm about to give this work. So no, I'm not about to go after nobody I fuck with, especially a cousin of mine. Nah.
No, and that right there taught me early on in the game, don't never fuck with a female comedian, if we can call her that. I don't even, man.
I wish I stuck with that rule.
Man, hey, look here, we ain't finna, man. We gonna get to that soon enough. We gonna get to your road travel soon enough. So I call you the R&B whisperer because, like I said, y'all, this man can tell you so much about R&B. Like, I can hear a song or get a lyric. I'm like, hey, man, what's this with the lyric? Oh, man, that's such and such from they third album in 88. I'm like, damn. Because I thought of it when I first was there. I prided myself on knowing all 80s and 90s rap. Now, I'm good with the rap. Now, he'll tell you this. The rap, that's me. But the R&B, this man got it. He got it with the R&B. So, like, what made you like grow up? Because that they claim that's not our generation, though we were younger when that came. Like, how you got so like deep involved with R&B and you just vibe so well with that type of R&B that we heard as children, but now you're an adult. That's just your vibe.
I miss my childhood so much, so I kind of never left mentally. So I listened to all the stuff that I remember growing up, and then I listened to whoever inspired them. So I just do my research, like, all right, Boyz II Men, they came out this time, but who they listen to? I want to know who you listened to that made you great. So I would go back and listen to old stuff, and eventually circle back around to listen to them. Happy. So I'm like, I want to know what made these motherfuckers happy when this song came on. Like, was it a memory or something? So I listened to those songs. I'm like, I see why they like these songs. And then, certain, as like time went on, certain video games came out and those songs were included on video games like Grand Theft Auto, like San Andreas. A lot of that R&B joint was on there on that CSR. I forgot exactly what's that thing.
CSR 98.3. I know. I used to listen to that and Radio Los Santos. Radio Los Santos, I used to ride to.
Yeah, it would be SWV and In Vogue and all them on there. So I'm like, this is the era I grew up in, and this is the era I want to kind of stay in. So and then I was raised by my grandparents for the most part because my mom was in the military. She was gone. So I listened to a lot of Al Green, Earth, Wind, and Fire, a lot of old gospel. So I'm very musically inclined, and also I'm a relative of Florence from the Supremes. So my family has that music thing about them. My grandpa was a singer. He has gospel albums out. So I heard a lot of music, and I just like studying music. I can't sing my damn self, but I know I have an ear for it. So that right there kind of inspired me to, go on and, work with these cats. And they're just as solid as anybody else. Like they're so humble. And, like you call me the R&B whisperer. I just run into them at random times. Like I be at Food Depot and bam, Latavia. I'm like, damn. What's up?
You say that, but I'll be like, nah, how are you running into Orange Juice Jones and stuff? I'm like, no, he's summoning these people. I'm like, he's got to be summoning these people. Because like I said, you love R&B, and for the fact that you running into Cindy from SWV, which you probably, not SWV, my bad, Cindy from In Vogue, let me get that right. I'm just like, nah, this ain't no coincidence, huh?
Dawn. That's
you did run the. Well, I knew you. I'm just saying. I just threw Cindy name out there, but I'm not
surprised
you ran into one.
I did run into her. You're right. I did run into her.
Oh, you ran into Cindy for real?
Yeah. I was in Denver.
You was at where?
I was in Denver. They had a show in Denver, and I was out there.
Okay.
It was like after they do what we do. After a show, they go to Waffle House, IHOP, and eat. And
yeah, well, they hungry too. I mean, shit.
They are, but you would think, they wouldn't go to a public place and eat because, that's the biggest thing happening in the city at that point. So you wouldn't expect them to go to an IHOP or something all together at one time. And they still got the shit they got on from the show, like the sparkly outfits and stuff. So you're not standing, you're standing out. You're not low key or nothing. Nobody changed. Genuine's with us, Cisco and them were with us, In Vogue, I'm with Shy. It's like, damn, like everybody's in IHOP just eating pancakes. I'm like, it's like I couldn't usually I record shit like that, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy the moment because I can't fathom this. I'm sitting with motherfucking Genuine, the man that go viral every week for a terrible dance.
Man, get up off Genuine, man. You know, all the women talking crap about them, that man pull up in their face, they still gonna drop them draws, man.
That's
And don't be talking about Genuine, because, hey, I remember talking to you when you and him was performing, and boy, you was telling me some stories. You sound like a kid in the candy shop, so don't.
Oh, yeah. I love Genuine. He got a sense of humor. He funny and he goofy. Like he's like, with a person with that resume that he has, you would expect him to be like super bougie or like on some Hollywood shit, but he's far from that. He's far from that, definitely.
But yeah, like you was talking about your research, like, bro, like you do really do some extensive research when it comes to R&B. Like even with your podcast, we gonna get into that after how you got that after I say this. Like for instance, I knew of that group from Lean On Me.
Oh, Riff, yeah.
Yeah, Riff, I knew of them, but I didn't know that they were actual students at Eastside High during Joe Clark's time. I didn't know that until I saw your podcast. And I'm like, damn, I didn't know they actually went there for real. And there's a lot of stuff on your podcast from other artists. I didn't know until I started listening. So how did you come about forming that podcast? What made you just sit down and formulate and say, this is what I'm going to do?
It was one night at the Punchline. We was in there late. Me, Hank, Mia Jackson, Marcus Harvey. We was in there talking about R&B till like 2 a.m. And Mia was like, you should do a podcast. And she was like, you already know a couple of them guys. Just, get online. Hank too. Get online. Talk about how much you love this stuff. Try to invite a couple of them on there and, do interviews. They was like, so much. I'm like, I'll do that. This is before the pandemic. So like I was still busy. I was still on the road with Brandon. And I'm like, I don't have time. So I never entertained it until we got locked down. And I'm like, you know what? I got a camera, got a laptop. Those people that I want to interview, they're not touring because everything shut down. So I'm like, why not? I'm sure they're bored. Let me just hit a couple of them up and see what they say. And they hit me back. Yes. I'm like, mind you, I don't have a following on that page that I started for the podcast. They just was like, you cool. I did some research on you. You're a comic. So, let's talk. I feel like talking. Let's tell some stories. And from the first episode on, I was getting B and A-listers. I'm like, damn, like you say yes. Like I had dude from City High. I had Riff, Shy. I had a couple of my Nickelodeon partners that used to be on all that. Like I was doing singers and actors.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I interviewed Riff, most of the interviews I did, I didn't really need to do any research because like if I reached out to you, I'm already a fan. So I already know what most of everything I need to know unless you want to tell me something new. So one of them asked me, they was like, are you reading off notes? I'm like, no, I'm just asking you a straight up question. Like when you did this, how did you feel type stuff? And they was like, damn, you're good. All right. And they answered the question. So when I asked them about Lean On Me, I was like, how close was Morgan Freeman to being Joe Clark? It was like Morgan Freeman came to the set one day, met Joe Clark, and then from that day on, he had him down pat just like that. There was like when he came in the room as Joe Clark, it was like we straightened up, like, damn, you're good. I'm like, damn. So y'all actually went to the school, and I'm like, was Joe Clark actually that tight? He was like, yeah. It was like this month. We thought the motherfucker was gonna beat our ass a couple of times. That's how hard he was. So it was cool interviewing those guys. It was cool interviewing, Dawn from In Vogue. She talked a lot. She told me a lot of good stuff. It was, just getting to know these people as like after the first 5 minutes of talking to them, it's like the fan shit went out the window and I'm talking to them like me or you were talking. I'm like, you know what? Fuck, let's just throw everything out. And then by the end of the interview, they're like, damn, like take my number down, call me. I'm like, okay, shit. And then now they call me like with some normal shit, like, hey bro, I'm cooking some ribs. Come over today. It's like, okay, shit, let's, then they'll call me with like, if they frustrated with people in the industry, they'll call and vent to me type things. And, it's strictly confidential. But, I'm like, I'm glad niggas like that can confide in me because I'm like, bro, guess what I just got done listening to? Nigga, I just got done listening to your shit. And they like, man, I want to hear that shit right now. My bad. But it's a cool podcast, man. I wish I can do more interviews, but everybody's busy again. They're back on the road.
Back up.
Yeah, so now I just go on the road with them and just get footage and just do interviews at the show. That's better,
Yeah. So who is it that you want to get on your podcast? Who would be like your drink besides Jodeci? Because for everybody out there watching, if you don't know, this man is a Jodeci fanatic. I call him the fifth member, Jodeci. Huh?
Absolutely. I was not saying absolutely. I am the fifth member, Jodeci.
I'm surprised this man ain't pushed for them to have a BET biopic. Because the way he feel about Jodeci, that's the way I feel about New Edition. Because you remember that? Because you remember when New Edition came out, I was like, ooh, y'all better get all this shit right. And it better be like Duck said on 5 Harmony. It better be in 5-part harmony. 5-part harmony. I was like, okay, y'all got it right, all right. But besides that, who would you want to get on there? Like, who is like your ultimate goal to have on there?
Besides Jodeci, of course, I would love to have Boyz II Men, but like I want to get somebody that people haven't really seen in a long time that was like big. Like I wouldn't say like super duper big, but I would love to have, somebody like Charlie Wilson or, a Aaron Hall type thing, or somebody that was just like untouchable back then. Like I love to have Keith Sweat.
That man gonna try to out deep voice you if you get Keith Sweat on. Yeah, Marlon, I just got it. And are you sure you want Aaron Hall?
I'll do Aaron. Like I can put up with Aaron. He's calmed down a lot the past couple of years. Okay. But shit, I would have like my all in all would have been, R. Kelly. That would have been like as far as 90s R&B, minus the bullshit. Because I always pregame before I go live. I'm like, hey, tell me now, what don't you want to talk about? And I'll write down what they don't want to talk about. And I'll leave it out. Like it's a couple interviews. I'm like, yo, this shit could have been real juicy, but I'm like, just in the name of R&B, I kept it clean. It didn't ask no bullshit because they didn't want to talk about that. Shit, people incriminating themselves nowadays. But I would have loved to interview R. Kelly. Like that would have been my all in all right there. Him and somebody, who was a female that was like just big, at least like a Salt and Pepper or something like that. Even though they weren't R&B, I would have loved to have them on the show. But R. Kelly, that probably would have been my top person to have on there.
I'm gonna tell you one person I was rooting for because you had told me about. I'm like, if he get her, he will be my hero. I wanted you to get when you were telling me about Maya. I wanted you to get her so bad. I was praying for you to get her on there, man. When you told me that, I was like, God, please.
She's still on the waiting list. It's just her like she only wanted to do an interview if she had something happening around that time, which we was mid-pandemic. So she's like, I really don't want to talk about nothing right now unless I got something coming out like an album. So she's like, I'm recording new music around March, so hit me up around that time and we could do it. So around that time, I guess that she told everybody that did interviews around that time, like, hey, I'm doing it around March. And then I just got lost in the sauce. So I'm still cool with her manager. He's like, yo, next time we in Atlanta, pull up and I get you a live interview. I'm like, that's even better. Shit, we good. We good. I mean, a lot of people was like, man, if you get Adina, I swear to God, I never ever interviewed Adina, but I've been in her presence quite a few times now. Yeah. And when I tell you that woman is beautiful as I don't know what.
Yeah, she was out here not too long. I couldn't make it. I had duty though, but it was best because one of my exes was in there. I was like, nah, this is gonna go left real quick. Let me not come up in here. So
Medina Howard.
And she like what 52, 53 or something like that.
She's 48.
Oh, I thought she was like made up 50. She still look good regardless. Maya just made 42 with her fine ass.
And it's magical how young she is. So we grew up with her, and she was young back when we was kids.
Like 18, 19, something like that.
She was 17 when the one with her Cisco came out. It's All About Me.
All About Me. Yeah.
But shit, Aaliyah was 14, Monica was 12, Brandy was 14. Like, so everybody was
what
young.
What song was Monica 12 on?
That first album, she was like 14. She was like 12 or 13 on that first album.
With them big ass white shoes they be clowning? Oh Lord.
Monica was young. Monica like 42 now. So she was, yeah, she came out before Maya. So yeah, she had to be about 14. Tevin Campbell was 12. No, he was younger than that.
He about 11.
These people, Yeah, they were young, man. So
Man, you see
seeing
all
them,
these people trying to get like shocked that he came out the closet.
man, water
I'm
is
like,
wet.
what? Huh?
Water is wet.
I know, right? Like everybody, like, oh my God, breaking news: Tevin Campbell's gay. Like we knew that.
Man, I argued with that man for an hour and a half last time I saw him. He he's sassy. He's sassy as I don't know what, but he
Man,
a
don't do
good
that
dude.
to Tevin Campbell, man.
No,
Hey,
no,
we ain't do
he,
that to
he a good
Luther,
dude.
and we ain't do that to Freddie Jackson. Don't do
No,
that to Tevin.
sassy as in he has a mouth on him. Like he a smart ass, and I'm like, okay. So me, I do the footage and everything for concerts. So Vanessa Fraction was there. She was the warm up for the award show. So
Yeah.
she's like, can you get a picture of me and Tevin? I'm like, absolutely. I got a Note 20 Ultra, so I'm like, my shit is immaculate type shit. So I pulled my phone out and pointed at her and Tevin. And he's like, oh, I know that's not an Android. I'm like, Brad, don't do this. Don't do this. And he keeps going, keeps going. I'm like, all right, well, let me use your phone. Pull your phone out. He pulls out this cracked ass iPhone. I'm like, don't you ever say nothing ever again about Android. Because I'm like, I bet your thumbs are bleeding. That's how bad your phone is cracked. And he just kept like John, but it's friendly, but it's John. I'm like, all right, all right. So I'm like, have a good day, sir.
Well, you done chopped off Tevin Campbell. You done chopped off one of the biggest. You chopped off Power Line, man.
So we get out into the auditorium when the show is about to start. So they do a Tevin Campbell montage. So I'm sitting like in the row directly behind them, next to a girl that's a big fan of him. She's like part of the media too. So as they're playing the power line, she's like, I didn't know he's still getting paid for that. He snapped his neck like, and is. I'm like, this motherfucker here. And she's like, damn, he's still getting money for that. And is. I'm like, bro. He's on one that day, but it's not like no malicious shit. It's just his personality. So I'm like, okay, I get it. Tevin Campbell. So, but he's a nice guy. But I could tell me and him will argue for days. Definitely.
But you said you got an ear for music, so I'm gonna say that we talk about Tevin Campbell. You know his song "Along with You." Now, ask me if you agree with me on this. You know how he went into the chorus after the first verse. Do you think he? I mean, this is what best kills me. He should have went into the chorus the same way after the second verse, because that always bothers me every time I hear "Along with You."
Which like what the girl don't leave me,
And then
don't
he go,
leave
and then he
me.
go straight into "I just wanna
I just
be,"
wanna be.
and then but on the second verse is "If the girl don't leave me," then they play that all that break it down, and they go into that. And I just want. I'm like, no, bro, you should have did it the same.
Break it down. I just wanna be, and then here's the high note,
Yeah,
and then
and then he come back into "I just wanna be." I'm like, no, you should have did it the same way.
He wanted that solo, like he wanted to have that break in the song, because if he wouldn't have had that, the song would have been probably too short for his liking.
And
So,
then he extended a little longer. I'm like, the hell is that?
yeah, that's Tevin, man. Johnny Gill would do that shit all
This
the
nigga
time
was
too.
trying to channel his inner Ella Fitzgerald, wasn't he? But I ain't gonna. Hey, boy, I'm happy that you know what I almost did when I was in that little situation that you called me out about last year. I almost put up a picture on my story, and that was gonna be playing in the background. That was gonna be the story music. I was like, I'm glad that shit with the shambles, because I was waiting for you. I'm like, I'm gonna put this up. I said, Marlon, for let me have it.
And I never thought I'd see the day already Gibson give up hope.
I ain't give up no motherfucking hope. I'm just keeping it real. Hey, y'all, so then what this man did, so me and this dude, according to Marvin Hunter, he claimed we the only two comedians that he is, like young comedians, that he is secure that are not homosexual. Because he know for a fact that he said, I know for a fact that Marlon and Petey ain't gay. Because I see them getting bitches. That's what he said. I see them getting bitches. So Marlon, everybody's know, but me and Marlon, it ain't no thing, but you see it was with one chick one day, and then we might do that. We see it with another chick. So
the old me, the old
him, the old Marlon. Now he reformed.
Yeah.
AKA he locked down. Now he reformed. So but in his savage days, me and this man, it was nothing to see us with another chick every 2 weeks. I mean, one chick ain't gonna make 2 pictures in a row with us. They not. So,
never.
like I said, when I got out to Washington, as y'all, if the young lady I met, we took one picture. I'm kind of being kind of tough in the picture. She's sitting in there. And Marlon like, who that is? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like kicking it with a whoop de whoop. So the next picture, it's kind of on some lovey-dovey shit. Our heads touching. I'm throwing like a little light smile. She cheesing her ass off. So everybody let me have it. So everybody now always says something about it being 2 picks. Marlon, come on. That's 2 picks. He said, that's 2 picks right there. You're 2 feet in now. He said, I never thought I'd see the day old Ray Gibson give up hope. I'm talking about I had like 10 laughs at his one thing, and then it just spiraled from there. My homies like, whoa, she made another pick? And then my cousin was like, all right, that's pick number 2. Them head touching, y'all glowing. I'm like, nigga, get out of here.
Man, if y'all would have kept going, you would have been on the beach doing that shit with that, trying to shape a heart with her hands or some shit like that.
I know the streets was talking about me back in Atlanta. Like, boy,
you was on your way to being that nigga. I'm like, bro, like I never thought I'd see this day, because you Big Pimpin' was your theme song to me. I'm like, this nigga is not about to. What Jay say in that song? I would never give my heart to a woman. That would never happen.
You gotta remember who I used to have to give a ride to all the time, and who was like lacing me with game. That was Shaq Double D. So I've got to ride him right. I'm getting late because even how I end up knocking Chelsea.
Yeah.
Shaq had I ain't gonna go into detail because my mama might watch this, but Shaq had said, you ain't hit that yet. I'm like, nah, dog. He said, hey man, he said, you're just gonna have to whip that out on her hand. And like when I'm over it, and I'm because he just tried, he didn't like try to, because Marv probably be like, but you need to stop playing with that girl. You need to stop playing with that girl and just tell her, like, look here now, you need to go and come on with the program. AD would have been like, hey, that's gonna be the Anthony Dean. He'd be like, homie, you gotta show her what a man is.
Whip your dick out, here. Whip your dick out.
No, you gotta show her what a man is, and everybody knows that. Shaq didn't break a stride. Shaq straight up said, nigga, you gotta whoop your dick out, bro. And went right back to talking about what he was talking about. So when I went to that apartment, and the moment was right, it was like Obi-Wan Kenobi talking to Luke Skywalker when he attacking the Death Star. Like, use the Force. I just heard Shaq, pull your dick out. Did it?
And it worked. It worked.
Did it? And that's how y'all end up with that little situation in the green room, which is funny because that's who you to be giving. I never thought I'd see the day old Ray Gibson give up. Man, that broke my heart.
I don't know what to tell you, bro.
That broke my heart. I mean, I'm happy for him, but I was just like Riley said on the boom, that's like going to heaven and finding Jesus smoking crack right there. But I'm happy for him. He looked happy. It relaxed. Fatherhood and being married. Look, man. Hey, look. From the outside looking in, and you being a father, him being a father, let me tell you something. As a single man out here in these streets who got to deal with majority of these women out here, and I got to continue my legacy with them. At least y'all got somebody somewhat decent to carry your legacy on with. Did you see? Huh?
Did we?
I mean, hey, hey, that's y'all. Hey, you was supposed to be the pull-out champion, nigga. That's on you.
I mean, when you mess with a chick that's over 40, you don't expect
do that. Don't do that.
You don't expect
they got a whole aisle at CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Usually the eggs are fried by then. Usually, so you wouldn't expect.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You wouldn't expect them to put their health on the line to have my baby. I'm broke as fuck. I ain't got nothing going on. I'm a struggling comedian. I work a job that barely pays me. You wouldn't want to keep that.
That's a woman's perfect. That's these women out here. That's they dream, man.
Man, no, I'm good on that.
Hey, you talk about that, dude. You talking to a dude.
I was rotating like 5 outfits to get on stage.
Oh, I remember them days.
I go back and look at the pictures and I cringe. I'm like, why the fuck was I wearing this?
I cringed at some of them pictures too.
Like at least you had like a button up and like a fedora type hat. Nigga, I had them camo pants with them Rady shoes and like that loose button up black shirt I had when I would fold it up, and come in with a book bag. And this is before I cut my hair off. So I'm like, man. And then when I started wearing hats, my hats was too big for me.
Yeah.
So I was.
Yeah, because I remember you without hats. I went back and looked at the picture. I said, so that's what he looked like without a hat. It's like watching a
And
cartoon that they never take their hat off. They're like, oh, that's what he looked like underneath that hat. But you talk about that, bro. I went back and saw some of my pictures. Y'all did not tell me I was as skinny as a Somali pirate.
and then when you gain weight, we was like, this nigga Pete didn't got fat, but you was skinny though. So I'm like, yeah, it's about time you put some weight on type thing.
Yeah.
But you was small though.
No, I can stand to lose a few pounds, but looking back, I'm like, no, I was too small. Good God.
But you was small to the point where you shouldn't have been talking as much shit as you have been, because you was talking cash shit out there to everybody. I'm like, ain't nobody beat this nigga up yet.
No, because I had motherfuckers thinking I was crazy. For real. Motherfuckers said,
Yeah,
no, nigga, we thought you was crazy.
Exactly. So I'm like, when I first met you, I'm like, I forgot who you was going off on. I'm like, this nigga talking crazy. I'm like, hey, I'm like, have any of y'all like fought him before? They was like, nah, he cool. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, y'all say he cool. But like, I see you go off a couple times. I'm like, he's small, but he a firecracker, like some Joe Pesci shit. I'm like, who the fuck?
Oh no, don't
I'm
get
like,
it twisted like I thought I had little man syndrome. It was an empty bottle somewhere that I knew
no,
I could grab a hold of.
it wasn't little man syndrome, but I'm like, it had nothing to do with your height, but it was like just how small you were. I'm like you were little. You were little.
Yeah.
You were little, but you was popping off. I'm like, this nigga
But
got
please believe there was a Heineken or a Bud Light bottle somewhere in the disc. I wasn't just doing it. I'm like, you can bring your big, but I'm gonna pop your ass.
I think my first convo with you was at Hole in the Wall. That's the first time you ever said anything to me was a Hole in the Wall. Yeah. And then like it was you, I think maybe Derulio, I think y'all, Landon, all y'all was out there. And it was Ben Palmer still had it. And yeah, you was nice initially. I never, like, me and you have never had like a problem.
No.
Never. Like it was always you and other folks.
No. I already know the incident you finna talk about. We're not gonna talk about that, man.
It's quite a few incidents with you that was
No, but I'm saying I know one incident you like, and I was wrong for that. But I was on some other shit that night, and I shouldn't have did that to that man because he already had too much shit going on in his life, especially with the motherfucker he was dating.
Yeah, I don't like her. I swear.
I don't like her. We're not gonna put her name out there. But we gotta admit, she doing her thing in Hollywood now. I gotta give her that. I got one thing about me. I'm not gonna never not get nobody their props. I hate that bitch, and I mean that when I say this. Mama, you just gonna have to take this on the chin when I say this. I hate her with a passion. But
yeah,
I can't deny.
You went off on that man.
I did, but it wasn't. I apologize.
But he like, I was waiting for
he earned it. No, he earned it, but I shouldn't have went off as hard as I did. Now, my most favorite person I went off of, I ain't gonna say her name, but we all know who she is, and it wasn't me going off. It just was finally somebody that let her have it.
Ooh.
It was Carlos Miller of all people. We was at Cloud9. I ain't gonna say who it is, but you know she was real big hoe on the scene.
Yeah.
But want to always push that feminist bullshit. And she came, and you know Carlos don't bother nobody. Carlos just want to be in his phone, smoke his weed.
I seen two people piss Carlos off the whole time I've known him, and I'm like, you piss this nigga off, man.
Yeah. So he's sitting there just chilling and vibing. I think I'm out there smoking a cigarette, talking to Sonny. I don't know if you was out there or not, but she was like, oh, you act like that because you getting all this pussy from all these women. Cause that bitch ain't nobody worried about no pussy. I done got no pussy to last me a lifetime. I'm sick of pussy. Get your ass out my fucking face. And I'm in tears dying.
I was there that day.
Because you know me, I can somewhat sideways instigate too. And I'm sitting there, and she get in her feelings. And it pretty much turned into that scene after the fight in Players Club. She like, who you laughing at? I said, I'm laughing at your ass. That's what I'm laughing at. I said, I'm laughing at your ass. I said, bitch, you learn to shut the fuck up now. Ooh, that motherfucker face was cracked.
Who are you talking to like that? Hit talking to your ass.
Your ass. Who the fuck you talking to? Freeman. You better wear your bulletproof vest all motherfucking day.
That's one of the funniest lines in cinema history. This nigga threatened the police. You better wear your bulletproof vest all day, all motherfucking day.
What's that it got for you? I think he ad-libbed that line with him and Jamie Foxx in the Jimmy Walker line.
I think he ad-libbed all that shit. I think that's all. They never gave him a script. They just let him be him. That had to be.
You know what the funniest line is to me in the Players Club? It's not even saying really about one of the main characters. But remember when Bernie Mac was getting, when the guy put the gun in his mouth, threatened by how much money, he leaned over, I'm supposed to get some pussy tonight. Then Bernie Mac go, I don't know how I find that line.
That movie's full of quotables. I think, even though he wasn't the main character, one of my favorite shit was by Ezel, when it was him and his ass up in that car. He was like, I got a question. Were y'all fags in high school, or did y'all wait till y'all got on the police force?
I
If
know.
anybody ever told you you look like the father from Good Times, that nigga put that jelly shit in his shirt. Nigga, chicken shit, chili shit.
When James almost, when he went over to the car to get the keys out, and Charlie Murphy like, hey, I told you, he said, take some of that bass out your voice, bitch. I'm just getting your keys out. He said, hey, James Amos delivered that shit so smooth. I'm like, he talking to people like that for real.
Funny as shit. I follow him on TikTok. He's still funny. I mean, his son run his account for him, but I'm like, yo, that's still him.
Because the way you delivered it, I'm like, that's natural.
This place. Hey, everybody else pay for pussy. If y'all want to see pussy, you got to pay like it's just like everybody else. Ain't nobody lying to us. Now, watch your tone and keep your hands on your head.
We ain't never liked Dollar Bill. We ain't never liked your ass either. Now, watch your tone and keep your hands on your head. Hey, Bass I love slammed his ass so hard into that hood. I know when they said cut AJ Johnson, like, hey, nigga, come on, cool out, man. This a movie, bro. Like, we acting. Because he slammed his ass on that hood hard.
Because we never liked Dollar Bill punk ass, and we never liked your punk ass. Now, watch.
Watch your tone and keep your hands on your head.
Oh, that is so funny. Oh
man,
boy.
That shit was that shit was wild, man. But nah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap because we'll probably be on here for a long time. So what you got in the works, man? Anything you got in the works?
Oh man, I'm planning my next R&B show at City Winery, so I'm waiting, to see who I want. I'm just giving it time to pass because that shit's so stressful. I don't want to take the promoter role because I still host the show.
Yeah,
I don't mind saying I put the show together. I'd rather that. I'm not a promoter, so getting motherfuckers. You see, stupid. Just getting motherfuckers here, getting them in their room, making sure they do sound check, making sure everything's taken care of. It's stressful enough. And then dealing with certain egos and whatnot. Not saying I have dealt with that yet, but it's always a minor one that I have to deal with, and whatnot. So I'm planning the next one, going back on the road with Brandon T soon. We got cities like DC. We got to do Naples, Florida. We got to do there's another one we got to do. I forgot what it was, but we got a couple things coming up. And then as far as the R&B stuff, I'm always out with Shy, doing their visuals. Sometimes I host a show, sometimes I'm just there just to enjoy myself, just to be around some positive energy. I'm with them in Columbus, Ohio and Cleveland back to back in October 29th and 30th. They got something coming up in Memphis for sure, and then whoever it's not just them. I'm out with a couple other R&B acts that do their thing. So I'm always somewhere, whether it's comedy or music, So, I'm out and about, but I'm out, in Atlanta. You catch me at any open mic that's out here. I'm still hitting the same mics, still messing with the same people. I'm pretty neutral. I don't have no beef with nobody. Never will, because shit. For what?
Exactly. But no, and speaking of Brandon, hey, good looking out on that when he came here to Washington, and putting me on that. Like, give me the hands up on that.
He said you did dope. He said you did good. He said you did good.
He got my number, but you know how they go in that game.
No, if he take your number down, he has it. Like he has it.
Yeah.
You're
really good chopping it up with him, even though you be like the little brother who like gets so annoyed by him. He cool to talk to.
Yeah, you catch him. You catch him on his days where he overall, it's my bro. But we gonna argue. We gonna bicker like brothers too. Like,
that's what brothers do. But now we had a good time. Like with the show, we went to the club afterwards. Like we ain't turn up, but like it was like all love. People like, oh, that's Brandon T. Jazz. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I had a good time with him, brother. I appreciate you putting me on that. Please live stream this next the next jam session you do, bro. Because from the footage I saw with the way you had it set up and you hitting that, I'm so glad you got that. Because like I said, how you feel about Joseph? That's how I feel about New Edition. I was gonna call you, but you got that choreographer right, because I was gonna get in your ass.
I was dared to do it, so pretty much people saw the footage from last year when I was humping stools or whatnot. When I went up there and pulled Martin on Shy, I went up there while they were still singing, took my coat off, and started, air humping and shit like that. So I think it might have been Danny Boy. He was like, man, you gonna sing or something? You gonna dance or something? You got a band, you might as well, get out there and, this your show, do your thing. So I think it might have been Danny Boy. So I went out there and they had bought Vanessa Ups If It Isn't Love. So I'm like, when she came off stage, this is right after she got off stage. I'm like, band, go ahead and hit it one more time. If It Isn't Love. So I'm sitting there trying to catch the beat because they didn't start from the beginning. The doom, 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 they didn't start from that. So they started right from the chorus. So I'm like, all right, let me get the steps. So I just started and it luckily caught on beat. And the crowd was in there egging me on. And they did the, I did it. I'm like, yo, this was amazing. I would have did the second verse, but we were short on time. I would have did the whole choreography. I know that whole
man,
thing.
that little stutter step thing they do with that shit is harder than it looks. I did that for karaoke when I was deployed in 2019. That's harder than it looked.
I went the wrong way. I'm like, damn, I was looking the wrong way. Shit. So next time I do it, I know what to do, per se. But I didn't tag Ricky, Bobby, Mike, all them. I'm like, y'all niggas share this shit because I put my heart and soul into this dance that day. It was. I was sweating by the time it was over. I'm like, man, I had to do that part. I told her I'd never fall in love, but now I know better. How does it feel? And I'm like, yo, I'm done. I'm done. Cut it.
Yeah,
cut it.
Like, between that and then I saw Mope set that bitch on fire. Yeah, I
Mope
was
there the day before I was. I'm gonna get Mope on one soon, but he was there.
I thought that was the same night.
No, Mope was there the day before I was. In that particular weekend, it was all comics in that. It was Mope. He was there that Thursday. My girl Kristen Seville, she has that podcast, and then we had sex. Her and her husband with the dreads. She's out of Virginia. She sold that bitch out Friday and Saturday, and then I had Sunday. So it was just comics that I knew all weekend, and they're killing. And City Winery really messes with us, definitely. So shout out to Rondell. Rondell actually got me into City Winery. So
Rondell Smith.
Yeah.
Hey man, shout out to Rondell. Hey man, hey he the plug on some shit and that most people don't give credit for.
Yeah, Rondell. Yeah, Rondell put me. He was like, man, do your shit at City Winery, man. They're gonna mess with you because he put me on the show back there in February, and I went there and they liked me, and ever since then I've been in contact. I'm like, I want to bring my show to y'all. So I showed them footage to everybody I've been with. They rocked with me. Especially when I was in LA, I was thinking about doing one in LA, and that's when I came out there and then had to do the Comedy Store, and that's when T.I. came out there and ruined my set. And
But he bumped you?
No, he made them cut my time. He didn't ask for it per se, but they was like, yo, we got a special guest coming through, so we got to cut your 10 minutes into 5 to 7. So I'm like, who? She's like, T.I. I'm like, the rapper? So by this point, everybody has had an interaction with him besides me. I've met him on occasions, but it wasn't in comedy. So I'm like, what do you mean he's coming? He's getting on stage. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I'm on stage. I'm about to go over my time because I'm like, I don't see him nowhere. So I'm about to rock this bitch out. I'm doing okay. And then I see an entourage of at least 12 people walk in at one time. The whole front row was empty. I guess they reserved that for them. It's him, Tiny, his son, a couple other dudes, and one dude that would not take his mask off. And I'm looking, I know a nigga by his eyes. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm like, it can't be. I did one joke, he laughed, pulled his mask down. I'm like, that's fucking Usher. This nigga heckled me. No, not Usher, but T.I. walked in late. I'm like, to me, that's a heckle because you have no mask on. Everybody was required to wear a mask at that time at the Comedy Store. So I'm like, bro, everybody knows it's you. So by the time he walked in, everybody lost focus on me. It's looking at him. I'm like, fuck. All right, y'all, that's my time. Like, I did one last joke. Usher laughed at it. I'm like, yo, it's fucking Usher. I'm like, I would have cussed T.I. at that night, but I'm like, damn, I fuck with like that's one of my favorite singers right here. So I'm like, fuck it. That's like I'm not like, to me, Usher is the closest thing we had on Michael Jackson. Like as far as artistry, all that, his innocence, baby face type thing. So I'm like, that's like bringing Michael Jackson to my show to me. So I'm like, damn, Usher's here. So after the show, we chopped it up, took pictures and whatnot. But I let T.I. have it next time I saw him. I'm like, bro, don't you ever walk with my show with fucking Usher, dog, late and with Tiny, your wife, for real. Knowing I'm an R&B dude, man. But you was funny though. Oh, I was funny. Yeah. What'd I say? You was funny though. I'm like, fuck you, fuck out of here.
Damn, bro. And you talk about me being mean. Shit.
No, cause no, he cool. I cussed him out a couple times, but I'm like, you can't. you can't. I'm like, you can't do that. And a lot of people like, you talk to him like that. I'm like, man, forget him. He a normal dude to me
Bro,
now.
you
Like
talk to everybody like that. Like you talk to, like even sometimes you be telling about how you be talking to your son. Like, bro, he only like a kid, man. I don't care that little bum ass. I'm like, bro, he a child.
no, I mean, it's a normal thing for me because I'm from the Midwest, so we're naturally angry people. But with T.I., it's all love. Everybody's all love. Like I did a show with him like 2 weeks ago, and chopped it up. Like cool dude, helping give him advice, for the future cities that he has. He's booked. He got a couple improv days coming up, and I'm like, yo,
Okay.
get up there, do this, rock out, close out the show, do what you do. That's ain't no hate over here, so we good.
All right, man. Yeah, so we about to get up out. So it's a little game I play with people before I leave. It's called This or That. So with you being from the Cleveland area, I'm gonna do this little bit of Cleveland and a little bit of R&B for you. So the first one I got, you being from the Cleveland area, the Indians, they ain't the Gardens, they the Indians or the Browns.
I'll take the Indians.
Yeah, because y'all the Browns.
I'm taking the Indians. At least the Indians was in the World Series a couple years ago. At least that happened. Brownies, man, that's my team too. But we gotta win. We had an 0-16 parade. Like this.
Bro, I'm still getting over that video one of the fans made cussing out the stadium. When you said, you are a factory of sadness. I was like, damn.
It was funny. We thought that was funny. The city didn't like that. We had
I mean, I've never heard that term somebody use. He's like, you are a factory of sadness. Like,
that's one of the sayings we say there, and God hates Cleveland. That's another saying that I hear a lot. So it has to happen. I mean,
all right, with you being as much of a movie guy as you are a music guy, so I got these two for Cleveland. This one actually so it's one that actually takes place in your actual hometown, Lorraine, and one that's like on Cleveland. That's either A Christmas Story or Major League.
I'm taking Christmas Story.
Yeah, it's just a classic, man.
It's every Christmas. I watch that every Christmas, all 24 hours of it on TBS. Like I went to the house. It's a museum. You get to buy the hats, the glasses, the BB gun, all that stuff is in the museum. You get to buy it. So I'm definitely going this year when I go.
I said, it seemed like you go every year. I could see I'm like, he back there again.
I mean, it's nostalgic. Like it's one of the things that we can, it's open all year. But I'm like, especially around the holidays, especially around the Thanksgiving time where everybody's going, there's snow on the ground. It's classic. You got to go.
What's your favorite part of that movie?
Goddamn, man, when she beat the kid to death on the phone.
Oh yeah, he probably learned from fight. Just like, the way she screamed.
I want to know what he was doing before she beat him because he was like, it looked like
it sounded like he was just mind his business.
What I do, Mom? No.
Could you imagine just sitting there just doing your homework or reading a book, and then your mama coming there flying with the belt tearing your ass up?
I don't think we saw him the rest of the movie. Like that's how bad she beat his ass. He was behaved the rest of the movie. I'm like, yo, that's funny as shit. That's my favorite part. My
part is after he got the decoder and he finally put the code in. Boy, you just saw all the life that played out of Ralphie. Ovaltine, some crummy commercial. Son of a bitch. I think that was one of the first times I remember seeing a kid cussing a movie. I was like, whoa.
And then the whole time he's doing the code, Ralphie, let your brother Randy. He has to be. Ralphie, I gotta pee. I gotta go to the bathroom. He's just sitting there on a hamper, just the code.
I mean, it wasn't that fun to me as a kid. I'm like, I don't get it. But being an adult now, when you got something all the way built up and it turned out to be some total bullshit, it just like, because he ain't cuss, he ain't get mad, he ain't throw it. We was just like, ain't that a bitch?
That, and then also when he beat that kid ass, he was cussing. You're racket, this son of a bitch. I'm like, yo.
And also at the end, when they went to the Chinese restaurant and the duck, well, it smiled at you. Yeah. He just talking like, look at it now. Like,
that shit was funny. That's a classic. I can't wait to watch that shit later on.
All right. Now, this last one, I'm going to ask you, this deal with R&B. I'm not going to put this group in. I'm not going to put Jodeci in there because we already know you're going to pick them over here. So I'm going to pick two other groups. And which one you prefer over them? H-Town or Silk?
Silk.
Oh, wow.
Definitely Silk. Silk has, to me, no shade, the H-Town still got a more consistent catalog because Silk still has all 5 members. You know, once Dino, you know,
Oh, Dino was
God
hard.
rest his soul. Well, yeah, once Dino let you know, R.I.P. God rest his soul. Once he got, you know, killed tragically, it's like, you know, H-Town had to, you know, kind of take a backseat. You know, Shazam took most of the lead. He takes all the lead now, but you know, you need that person that, you know, that motherfucking Dino can blow. Dino could blow.
He was like
But
Anthony
shit,
Hamilton before him, to me.
Dino was like, he had that southern twang, but he also like had that growl with it. So I'm like, damn, that motherfucker, like, but A-Sound, they solid too. But Silk to me like hit a little harder because I actually listened to Silk growing up too. You know, them they nasty too. Them motherfuckers nasty. Lil G is my guy.
Yeah, I see you
his
post a lot with him.
his stage presence is like, we both Aquarius. His birthday like a week before mine. So I'm like,
Oh,
that's
that's
why we get
Aquarius
along.
game.
Hell yeah, Aquarius gang. So his stage presence is unmatched. When he gets on, all of them, him, John, Big G, all of them, like they're comedians. So they're funny on stage when they sing. They'll do a song, do something for the ladies, and then like tell a joke and then go to the next song. So they can blow. They still sound like the record. I'm not saying H-Town don't, but I had to choose Silk over that. Like Silk that's my guys, man.
All right. So how many miles is it then since you a Silk fan?
Oh, I never counted. It's a lot of them.
Oh, you let me
No,
down.
I never counted. Never counted. I just
That
go
was
with the flow.
that was a
That's a lot
big
of mine.
debate when I was on deployment. We were trying to figure me and my boy I work with. I mean, like, man, that's 9 of them. And then we just said, and we kept rewinding the song back. We trying like, dang, we missed it. Go back in. Go back and be like, fuck it.
It was more than 9 miles.
Oh, no.
My room. That is a classic.
I just said one because even Johnny Gill when he on my when he do it my
Yeah.
I'm like I can't even count all these.
Yeah, you can never count all the miles, but there was a lot of miles that Lil G did, and he's fucking classic, man. Silk. Shout out to them. Shout out to H-Town too, man. They're fun to be around. All of them, they dancers. They got some of the finest dancers I've ever seen in my life. Backup dancers.
Yeah. H-Town, baby.
Them
All
Texas
right.
girls, man.
Yes, sir. All right, we about to get up out of there. So where people can find you at on social media, man?
You can find me everywhere. At Marlan Comedy, Marlan Comedy. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all of the above. What's new? I don't know if it's any new social media networks. If it's a social media network, I'm on it. Fan base, all that shit. You can find me on everything. If you don't see me post for a while, that means I'm reported. I'm in Facebook jail or something like that.
Hey, this man stay in Facebook jail. I know. Tell him your other name on there because you got another name on Facebook. So with that one locked up.
Oh, I go by Marlon Goins too. That's also my last name. I just go by Ballard, but Goins is also my last.
So if y'all see Goins posting more than Ballard, it's like this nigga in jail again.
No, they lock both up now because they like, oh, this is the same person. Yeah, if I get locked down on Ballard, they're gonna shut the Goins one down because I use the same email. I'm like, oh, they figured it out. So now I gotta create another one or separate that one from that one. So yeah, I'm Goins also. So if y'all, remember Donald Goins, the author that wrote Iceberg Slim and all that, that's my cousin, down the line. So that's me.
All right, man. Hey, bro, it's been good chopping it up with you, man. This took me back to our early days, like 2012, 2013. I feel like we was back in the Waffle House again, chopping it up, knowing we got to go to work in like 2 hours. Acting like we ain't got all the time to work. Huh?
I slick want Waffle House right now.
When you got that luxury being out there in Atlanta, you can't throw a rock right here when I unfortunately ain't got that privilege.
You better take oh yeah, you in Washington. Y'all ain't even got Roscoe's. So damn.
We ain't hardly got shit out here, dog.
You gotta take your ass to Bob Evans if y'all got one of them.
We ain't even got Bob Evans. Oh man, the hell, Bob Evans? Ugh.
That's what we got. That's Ohio right there. We ain't got no Waffle House.
That's all up and down there, like on the East Coast too, like going toward Virginia and all that. But yeah, we had to eat there on a school trip because that was the only thing we saw going. But hell no, I know Bob. I'd rather eat that.
I love me some Bob Evans.
Yeah, well, on that note, you can go on. I'm gonna let you have that. But nah, it was good rocking with you, man. Hey man, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Appreciate you, my boy.
My guy.
All right, man. We're gonna be up. Peace.
Yes.